That is agreed. And the next item of business is consideration of motion number 7266 in the name of Kenny McGaskill to treat the Criminal Procedure, Legal Assistance, Detention and Appeals Scotland Bill as an emergency bill. Thank you, Dave Thompson, followed by Pauline McNeill.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The Criminal Procedure, Legal Assistance, Detention and Appeals Scotland Bill is a very important piece of legislation which we shouldn't even be considering. Unfortunately, however, the UK Supreme Court did not respect the position and decision of the Scottish Criminal Appeal Court, where 7 senior and highly respected Scottish High Court judges, each with a deep grasp and understanding of Scottish law, ruled that Scots law pertaining to detention and questioning did not breach the European Convention on Human Rights, or ECHR. And that's the answer to Patrick Harvey. Our senior judges made a ruling that it did not breach. Instead, the UK Supreme Court chose to muscle in on our criminal law by using their power under civil law and the ECHR. Importantly, this crucial decision has been taken by 5 Supreme Court judges, only 2 of whom have a background in Scots law. So a court with limited...
Order. Mr Thompson, I would be grateful if you could address more the general principles of the bill, which is what we're supposed to be debating at this point. Thank you.
Well, we're dealing with the decision on the ECHR. I will do that. A court with limited Scottish representation has overruled a court consisting of 7 very senior Scottish judges. The UK Supreme Court was established in October 2009 to deal with civil matters, despite opposition from the SNP. We warned it was irrational for a court without a majority of Scottish judges to decide on cases of Scots law. We also pointed out that the practice of hearing Scots civil cases in the House of Lords was a historic anomaly, and that this role should be repatriated to Scotland. What other legal jurisdiction allows its appeals to be heard in another jurisdiction? Unfortunately, the previous Labour-led administration utterly failed to stand up to Westminster and protect the independence of Scots law. Cathy Jimison, Justice Minister at the time, said, "The proposal for the creation of a new Supreme Court for the UK does not impact on the integrity and independence of Scots law." Unfortunately, Cathy was wrong, and our warning that the UK Supreme Court was a threat to the integrity of Scots law has come to fruition. And it is the complacency of the opposition parties that has led us to this situation.
Mr Thompson, could you come now to the general principles of this bill, please?
Okay. Robert Brown maintained that the 12-hour limit, mentioned the 12-hour limit. Now, does he know that in England, under the Lib Dems, where they are in government, it is 24 hours? And does he support that, I wonder? Well, why is he arguing against 12 hours here and you Lib Dems are in favour of 24 hours south of the border? The Scottish Human Rights Commission has claimed that this is no time for emergency legislation, but they failed to acknowledge the Scottish Government, in anticipation of the Supreme Court finding, had already prepared emergency legislation intended to protect the victims of crime and minimise the possible number of appeals. Indeed, for over a year, the Scottish Government, the Crown Office, Scottish Legal Aid Board and Association of Chief Police Officers in Scotland have been working on the contingency plans, and interim guidance was issued, has already been said, to the police by the Lord Advocate on the 9th of June, requiring them to offer detained suspects access to a solicitor before and during an interview in serious cases, and this was rolled out to all cases on July the 8th. The reality is that the SNP government has been preparing for all possible decisions in this case and, as a consequence, is ready to act immediately to protect the Scottish legal system and taxpayers alike. It's ludicrous to suggest that this should have been done a couple of years ago. We had to wait for the decision before we knew what we had to do. And what this case really highlights is the
member must close now, please.
Independence and integrity of Scots law.
Thank you.